Another new member of Conference USA this season. No stranger, though, to Conference USA. Of course, we're talking about Louisiana Tech head coach Skip Holtz. Skip, good to have you with us here.
It's great to be here.
Also joining us today, one of the stalwarts of the defense, IK Enemkpali, whose sister plays at the University of Texas, who is his big sister. Not little sister, big sister.
Big little sister.
Big little sister.
Yeah.
Skip, we'll start with you because you're no
Okay.
stranger to Conference USA, winning back-to-back conference titles in 2008, 2009. What's it like to be back?
Oh, it's exciting to be back. You know, a lot of the administration is all the same, and it's great to see a lot of the people that have kind of been staples here with this conference that have made it what it is. But there's a lot of new faces around the table, a lot of new schools and a lot of new coaches that are there. But I think it's going to be a great fit for Louisiana Tech, and I'm excited to be back as part of it.
The fact you have a point of reference of the conference, you've been to a lot of places. There are some new teams, obviously.
Right.
Does that help as you come in?
Well, it helps a little bit with the familiarity of it all, but I think, you know, for our players, it's all going to be new for them. You know, I've been here and been in some of these arenas and venues, and from that standpoint, it's going to be nice. But I think the stability of the conference is the thing that I'm so excited to get back with the 6 bowl tie-ins and the 80 games on television, and the great friends at Fox and CBS have been to the conference, and so I'm really excited about it.
Okay, you had a great season last year, obviously 9-3, but you don't return a whole lot of defensive players. As one of the leaders of the defense, how much pressure does that put on you?
As a senior, being a fifth-year senior, I gotta me and the other seniors, we gotta do our best to try to get the young guys on our backs and show them how to work, so we can have the season that we want.
What are the changes that Coach Dameron has made? He obviously played for your dad at Arkansas.
Yes.
What changes has he made on defense that may be a little different?
We made some changes, but ultimately, you know, he just wants us to get to the ball. You know, football's been played over 100 years. It's really no secret. We got to play hard and get to the ball.
Talked about Coach Kim obviously playing for your
Yes.
dad. What was his point of emphasis when you brought him in and he said, Coach, we got to do this, this, and this? What was
Well,
it?
I think his experience was one of the things that really excited me, being a defense coordinator for 13 years. And I think when you look at the winner of Conference USA, 4 of the last 5 winners have led the league in defense. And I think that's where we really need to make some improvements and make some strides. And I think that's going to fall on the seniors, as IK was talking about, the seniors and their leadership and what they're doing to adapt and adjust, and kind of really the open arm approach that they've had, and like, what do we got to do to get there? I think it's really unique in that you're walking into a program that has had a lot of success for the last couple of years, and they've won a lot of football games, but the hunger, the mindset of these football players is really a determined type of mindset, because defensively I know we want to get a lot better, and offensively we have an awful lot of new faces that are going to be on the field.
I think everybody knows that Coach Dykes obviously pushed the tempo. Will you push it as much? And what changes would you make?
Well, we will, but we're not going to do it all the time. I think we also have to be able to protect the defense. We've got to be able to protect them and make sure that they're not out on the field. There are a lot of advantages to running the up-tempo offense, but it puts a lot of stress on your defense, and I think the two of them have to work together. And there's going to be times that offensively we'll go up-tempo and we'll go high energy, but it's not going to be just about how many points we can score. It's about making sure that we can outscore our opponents with the offense and the defense working together.
If there's one thing I think you have to circle is you have to replace 4 or 5 offensive linemen.
Yes.
Does that allow you, or does that force you almost to cut back on your package and simplify it a little bit?
Well, and I think I've learned that now. I'm going into a couple different programs. If in year one, you're better to make the mistake of being too simple than you are to be too complex. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to go out there and have a lot of bust and missed assignments. You want to give your players an opportunity to play. And when you have players like IK, it's easy to make sure that you just give them an opportunity to put their hand on the ground and go get the quarterback.
IK, one of the things that stood out when you look at some of the numbers is what your unit did against the run last year. They were 3rd in the WAC versus the run. How much pride is it for you and the rest of the defense to stop that run?
Well, you know, I play with a great group of guys on the D-line, you know, return a whole bunch of seniors with guys like Big Jelly, Justin Ellis, and Shaquille and Kendrick James, you know, and they're forced in the middle, and, you know, coming back with linebackers, and we have some young guys in the secondary, but ultimately, you know, playing with a good group of guys helps me out a lot.
Were you impressed with the depth up front when you took the job?
Really impressed, especially on the defensive front. You talk about some of the seniors, the 4 seniors that IK just mentioned, but you also look at a Vernon Butler and a Dora and a Kiss of Birth. I think there's a great group of guys there, and we have a great nucleus on our defensive front. And I think if you're going to be good on defense, that's where it's got to start. If it can start up front, then you have a chance. And so we're really going to put a saddle on these guys up front. It's going to be really important for them to be able to control the line of scrimmage for us to have the success we want to have on the defensive side. But really been impressed with the depth up front.
IK, this is a question that I've asked a lot of athletes, no matter what sport. Where Coach was talking about putting the saddle on you guys. Do you want to be coached hard?
Yes, I do. I don't want no coach to sugarcoat anything for me. If I got to get more pressure, just tell me I got to get more pressure. You know, if I got to step up somewhere, anywhere, hey, just tell me. I like getting coached hard.
Great players like to be coached hard, by the way,
Yes,
just
sir.
for the record. Your quarterback situation.
Yes.
Give us a little capsule of it.
Well, I think Scotty Young is a young man that was from the state of Texas.
He was recruited by Mike Leach, right?
Yes, he was,
Yeah.
and ended up transferring in. And he sat last year, so really hasn't played any college football, and he's going into his junior year. But I think he had an excellent spring. You watched him grow and mature and develop. Sometimes when you're sitting out, I mean, you take a back seat because you know you're not playing and you're not very vocal. But to see the way that he's matured here in the last 6 months as he's kind of been given the reins of the quarterback position and what he's done with it in the spring, I've really been impressed with the way that he's progressed. And having a new quarterback and those 4 new offensive linemen, a lot of new faces at wide receiver. You know, the one thing that will be nice is to have guys like Kenneth Dixon and Tevin King back in the backfield.
You mentioned Kenneth Dixon surprised a lot of people, rushing for over 1,200 yards last year.
Yeah.
I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes about him.
Well, and breaking Marshall Faulk's freshman
Right.
touchdown record and some of the things that
27.
he was able to accomplish. And I think he just plays a game with a great passion. I think when you get around great players, they play, they have talent, they're strong and have some of those physical attributes, but they play the game with an intensity and a passion. And I think that's one of the things that makes a guy like IK such a great defensive end. And it's one of the attributes that makes Kenneth Dixon such a strong running back for us.
When you look at the schedule, and scheduling is so important to play out a year, it's all part of winning a conference title. It looks like the toughest conference games are at the end of the year.
Right.
Is that a blessing in the fact that it'll give your guys time to get their feet set?
With that many new players, I think it will be, and having the opportunity to play at NC State and at Kansas early, I think it'll be great experiences us for playing on the road, and there's a lot of things that we can learn from that. You know, you want to have a strong out-of-conference schedule, and that you want to be tested, but you also want to get some of your players some experience. And once you get into the conference, the one thing I learned about Conference USA and being in this conference is there's great balance from top to bottom, and there's a lot of really good football teams. And so I don't think we're going to be able to look at it like we don't need to be at our peak until the end of the year, but I certainly think the more experience that the Scotty Youngs and a lot of these new players that are going to be on the field will certainly help us for all the experience that they can get.
You've probably been asked this question hundreds of times, but everybody obviously knows your pedigree.
Right.
How are you different?
Oh, I don't know. I'll write a book one day and talk about that.
You can say taller.
I haven't sat down and probably really looked at it from that standpoint. Taller.
Yeah, I like taller. I like taller.
Taller would be a good answer. I've been really blessed to be around some great coaches, but to have the opportunity to coach with my father for 10 years, to have him come in, and he was the spring game, and have the opportunity to come in and watch some of the scrimmages and give us the view from 30,000 feet, I think has really been beneficial, really been helpful.
This is for you, IK. You know, we talked about your sister obviously playing basketball for the University of Texas.
Right.
Who wins one-on-one?
I'm going to say me. I know she got all that
Can
coaching.
I call her and ask her that?
Yeah, you can call her. She's probably going to say she's going to win, but you know, I can't let that happen.
Did you have spirited games, the two of you? When you played?
Yeah, we used to go to the court all the time and just go at it and stuff.
You didn't
But-
get physical with your sister.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Why you think she is where she is? Yeah.
How excited are you about this season in Conference USA?
I'm really excited, you know, especially, you know, not having to travel way across the nation to get to games and stuff, having closer games and just playing new teams, you know, new competition.
And one final question. It has nothing to do with football.
Okay.
You've got one of the most famous graduates who is a superstar now in Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty.
Yes. Right
Pretty
down,
impressive, huh?
Right down the road in Monroe. And I think, you know, we've had some great alumni come out of that school. When you look at the Terry Bradshaws and the Willie Roafs and
Robertson's
the Hall of
bigger
Fame
than
players.
Bradshaw. No, Robertson's
but when
bigger
you
than
look right
Bradshaw.
now at what the Robertsons are doing in Duck Dynasty, I'm a huge fan. I'll tell you now, I'm a huge fan of this show. I really enjoy it.
Well, let's hope your season is happy, happy, happy.
Yes, I'm with you 100%.
Cooking and peanut all this year. That's right. We'll be back with more Skip. Thank you, IK. Thanks for being with us.
Yes,
Back
sir.
with
Thanks,
more
Rob.
after this.